What's happening, guys and girls? Acrinator here, and welcome to another episode of World of Warcraft Dungeon Overview. Today we'll be starting our adventure through the Tempest Keep dungeon hub, specifically beginning with the Mechanar. I'll be running through it with my warrior you see here, so with that being said, let's dive straight into it. The entirety of Tempest Keep was once a massive vessel created by the Naaru, and intended for the use of the Draenei to escape Draenor if the Burning Legion had ever found them. After thousands of years of running and hiding, the Eridar outcasts had become accustomed to planet hopping whenever their place of refuge became compromised. The Keep was used as a base of operations for the Naaru's forces in their battle against the Burning Legion, though they soon left it unattended for more strategic positions throughout the shattered world of Outland. Soon after its abandonment, Prince Kael'thas Sunstrider of the Blood Elves took up residence in the floating fortress. First allied with Illidan Stormrage, and later with the Burning Legion, the Sin'dorei Prince wanted to harness the chaotic energies of Netherstorm to give his people a new source of magic for which to feed upon. His forces have been working hard to modify what Naaru technology they could salvage within the fortress to use for their own desperate plans. The Mechanar is the wing of the Keep that's used to harness and produce large mana cells to neatly package the magical energies into manageable containers. Despite the help the Blood Elves are receiving from the demons, the Mechanar and the central eye of Tempest Keep are the only sections that aren't experiencing critical problems, making it all the more likely that they'll fight hard to retain control. The Mechanar is a level 67 to 70 dungeon with level 70 heroic mode found in the eastern portion of Netherstorm. It has 4 different buildings all floating in the air, making it somewhat confusing to identify which platform is which. For the purposes of this episode, the Mechanar is the rightmost building of the bunch. I usually don't like to assume that those watching this have flying mounts, but unfortunately there's no other way to reach the instances in this particular hub, so the path here should be short and simple. Also, since you'll be flying, you shouldn't have to worry about fighting your way to the entrance. Capacitus is a creation of the Blood Elves operating from within the Mechanar, a mechanical golem that is powered by the highly unstable Naaru mana cells, and the first line of defense for Battalion and his forces. The only significant mechanic for Capacitus is that he'll give each player a charge of either positive or negative. Your job is to stack up with any other party members that have the same charge, and avoid stacking near players with the opposite charge. The former will increase the damage you deal, and the latter will deal damage to you and your party. Sepethria is a Sin'dorei mage who's excelled at summoning various creatures to aid her in battle. She was taken in as Bathalion's apprentice and bodyguard, in order to ensure that no intruders got in the way of the vital work they've been performing. Sepethria will occasionally cast Dragon's Breath, which is the exact same as the mage spell, meaning that you should face her away from the rest of the group to avoid disorienting everyone. Also, when she enters combat, Sepethria will summon 2 fire elementals to assist her. The tricky thing about these adds is that they'll ignore threat generation and temporarily chase after a random player. They'll also set the ground on fire wherever they go, meaning that those being chased should lead them away from the group in a somewhat orderly manner. Battalion is a blood elf who's obsessed with being noticed by his superiors, especially Prince Kael'thas. He followed some of his kin through the Dark Portal and into Outland in the hopes of finding a cure for their hunger of magic. Battalion figured that if he could be the one to solve their people's energy crisis, he'd go down in history. Needless to say, he's a bit obsessive over making sure his research in the Mechanar goes off without any hitches. Fun fact, if you wait too long to start the fight, Battalion will actually become impatient and start it for you. So I hope you didn't need any extra time to strategize about this fight, because he's not giving you any. Battalion will occasionally summon weak adds to help him out during this fight, so just make sure to AoE them down before continuing to take down the boss. What's more is that he can take control of a random player for about 5 seconds, so try not to kill your own teammate when that happens. My best advice would be for you all to pop your cooldowns and take him down as fast as possible. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this episode, and if you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more like it, maybe even subscribe. Links for my social media and whatnot are in the description below. And as for the comment question, do you think Kael'thas still cares about his people at all, or has he just gone mad with the prospect of power offered to him by Kil'jaeden? I think he's gone mad, but he still claims to care for his people, so who's to say? Anyways, that's all the time I've got for today, so until next time, don't die.